Well, India's creator economy is interestingly moving beyond reels. A new set of applications is turning conversation itself into a paid product. These are micro companionship platforms. Users pay for one-to-one conversations. Time and attention are the value, not content or the followers. This is very different from dating apps. Dating apps, remember, sell the promise of a match. But here, the conversation is the end goal. Creators earn directly from each call and expectations stop when the call ends. What's driving this shift is non-metro. India, smartphone access, remember, is wider. Private conversations are harder offline. Voice feels easier than text, especially in low bandwidth settings. The people earning here are not influencers. Many are young creators from smaller towns. Women form a large share of hosts on these platforms. And there's no need for a follower base. Consistency matters more than visibility. The money model is also simple. Users buy credits and credits are spent on calls and gifts. Creators earn per minute, platforms take a cut. And as this grows, safety and moderation also remain a key concern. Live conversations, remember, are difficult to monitor. How platforms handle this will decide how far this goes. So let's bring in our guests this morning to break this phenomena down and what really does this mean for India going forward. First up, joining us is Amitabh Kumar. He's co-founder of Contrails AI. Amitabh, you've spoken at length about the kind of challenges that come with the whole concept of social companionship. But for all those tuning in, all of those hearing for this for the very first time, tell us what this is all about and why are we looking at this growing trend in tier 2, tier 3 cities specifically?
Yeah, good morning to everybody firstly. And companionship is a human nature. We all want good friends. We want significant others. So that is the basics. And now we add internet to it. So it just makes a perfect match that if you're alone, you can find people and it is almost being offered as a service. Where you can say friendship as a service or companionship as a service. So technology meets human behavior and that will always be positive and it's a good business model. Business model is also important because there's a lot of funding here because you're getting monetized from day zero because people pay for it. What you said about the movement from big cities to small towns or rural India, well, that's the power of internet and democratization of information. That the same entertainment that you and I consume is being consumed across India, across small town and rural. And that is also increasing. Let's have a relationship. Let's get out of our community. Let's explore new avenues. And internet has ran on that for a very, very long time. Chat rooms were popular. And even before that, 1-800 numbers used to be extremely popular, where people used to call these party lines. So connecting with other humans outside our network is a natural tendency. And these companion apps have very well monetized it and designed it, where we can meet anybody in the country, in the world, and have a conversation with them. So that's it in the basic aspect of it. A lot of fun, a lot of positivity.
It's also broken the language barrier, right? So you can speak to people in all regional languages, Marathi, Telugu, Hindi, of course. So that's another added advantage here. But do tell us, Amitabh, with this concept coming in, being witnessed, the kind of money that's being pumped into this model, is the consumption also increasing rapidly? Have you been able to, sort of figure out what numbers suggest, what data suggests, and how much of a user base these applications are seeing on an yearly basis now?
This data would have to be verified, but just on the number of apps that have come in and the number of platforms that have mushroomed in 2025, one can estimate that this is becoming an extremely popular trend. The little bit I know about doing workshops across the country and going and interacting with people in schools and colleges, that it is becoming very popular amongst young people for sure, because that's also the age when you want to grow your network, which leads to a lot of safety challenges because this is a new product, this is a new platform, and new norms have to be taught. Nobody has told children or adults how to behave on companion apps, right? This is not a social cultural norm. It will be created as it becomes more popular. There will be new etiquettes that will be made. So interesting experiment. But because there are young people coming, new people coming, people from different cultures coming and interacting with them, the normal social deviance also rises, right? So it's just a statistic that if there are 100 people, 10 will have antisocial behavior. So if there are 100 conversations and they're all human conversations, 10 conversations are bound to go negative. And if we look into our lives, if we talk to 100 people, 10 conversations are not positive. It's just the way we are sadly programmed. So trust and safety issues become a huge priority. And that is where we usually see a lot of gaps. In the United States, some companion apps, even some AI apps have tried this, and there have been major failures. And I think
so where have these apps, and you may not name these applications, but where have some of them failed in terms of ensuring safety and privacy? And how are they different from, let's say, your regular dating applications? On dating apps, what we learn is that people are asked to share pictures or put some images, give out their name, etc. Now, people can forge that, but how is this model typically different, and can, to an extent, ensure that a person's personal details are not with the user?
Oh, totally. See, like you said, the first part, safety and privacy are always at loggerheads. There is no way to make your and my conversation safe without monitoring it at every second, because my behavior you cannot control. So the only way you can do it is by being proactive. Number two, without having my information, how do you even do a know your customer? Who has logged in? Who is on the other side? Either the platform has data of both the people, has verified them. How do you know that just because I'm of a certain age, I am not a criminal, right? How do you know that my behavior is going to change? So privacy is going to be a major issue with DPDPA coming in, later next year. It is going to be complex for these apps to implement safety by design. I've done a couple of interviews, and I was told that multiple of the Indian apps say that they have some safety measures in place. The truth remains, audio content moderation in real time is extremely expensive. So what we do at Contrails, we build these AI models for trust and safety. So they are doing it, but deploying them is expensive. And also, like you said, multiple languages. Is there a data set in all Indian languages? In the popular ones, there is. But how are you going to monitor it? Number two, minors. How are we going to make sure that minors are not using the services? Because at the end of it, it's paid companionship.
Yeah.
So
there are no terms and conditions, is it? You're not supposed to submit any sort of details, personal details, none of that. None of those guardrails are in place.
All the social media platforms have a guardrails in place that you cannot be 13 and below. And we know how many children are using social media platforms. So unless terms and conditions are implemented, and to deploy that, you need technology, right? And this is where the monetization part comes in. So unless there is a very specific law with a very heavy fine, businesses are not motivated to invest in trust and safety. And this is a global problem, not just an India problem. And I am sure that at least 10% of the users are having a bad experience. Plus, please look at it. This is companionship, which very quickly goes to love and sexual behavior, and there is money involved. Everywhere in the society where you have these two things coming in, scams, mental health issues, turn out to be byproducts of it. So
yeah, because in reality, and I find this particularly interesting, Amitabh, in reality, these models are being sold as not so much of a dating app model. It's more of, come join this app to strike conversations that are meaningful, get away with loneliness, with isolation. That's the way it's marketing itself. Do you think that, and obviously, because how much privacy, how much safety can you ensure at your part, like you rightly said, do you think more often than not it crosses that and slips into the domain of intimacy and sexual indulgence?
Oh, totally. These are not apps where you're talking about religion and philosophy. I mean, we are a patriarchal society. Male loneliness is an epidemic across the globe. And I'm sure it's the same for female, just the research hasn't been done. So the second two people of the same age meet who are lonely, intimacy is what they are seeking. So while these are being sold as companionship, friendship, that's all marketing. At the core of it, and I don't have data, but just from experience and working with people who use these apps, it is outright multiple conversations will get into intimacy, sexual conversations, and trying to build a bond and friendship, which is completely fine amongst adults. Why not?
Yeah.
But when that happens and it goes wrong, and this is where all the viewers can think about their ex-girlfriends and ex-boyfriends and how things have gone bad. That is exactly what the platform needs to handle. Is the platform trained and equipped to handle it? Is there technology that can provide the mental health support that somebody needs when they go through a heartbreak or a friendship break or a companionship break? These are complex questions, and the answers are not there because it's a new technology. New
also,
technology
whether the
always
app
needs
can
suffering.
actually deliver or do justice to users seeking an emotional connection and not, let's say, superficial interactions. Are any of those guardrails in place? That's a question that stays still. But I do have a second speaker joining us this morning. Amitabh, stay on with us. Tamsil Hussain, founder and chief executive of Pluck, is with us this morning. We were struggling a little bit with your connection, Mr. Hussain. Good morning. Thank you for being with us.
He's a close friend.
Good morning. It's amazing.
Oh, lovely, lovely, great. We have two friends on the panel this morning. Great.
Yeah.
Okay, Tamsil, now again, we want to go back to the drawing board a little bit. We have at length discussed a lot of aspects, including safety, privacy, and where do all of these factors find place in this concept called social companionship. But for everyone wondering, and a lot of people are still not used to this concept or have not heard of this concept, especially in tier 1 cities. It's not something which is being seen or practiced heavily. Tell us, how does it work? So there is a user and there is a creator.
Yeah.
Who are these creators? How does this model really function?
So essentially, creator economy in India has been booming in a big way, right? It's massive, and it's growing every day. Like, you see a lot of creators on Instagram and YouTube. But what we started seeing with Vibely and Friend is that creators have new monetization opportunities, right? These are creators from tier 2, tier 3 cities, and sometimes even cities, tier 1 cities, right? Some of these creators, usually simply you see like an anonymous picture of them on Vibely and Friend, and you see a call button and a video button. And if you can pay anywhere between 1 rupee to 15 rupees and actually get on a call with them or get on a video call if you want to pay higher, in simple terms. How it essentially works is you keep paying as you keep talking and having conversations with them. According to me, this is a model that has
But who
been
qualifies as a creator? So
well, I think
do the
a lot of the
apps
creators
have a way to go about this? Who's going to be accepted as a creator, who people can approach, users can approach for a conversation? How does it work?
So essentially, I think these are selective profiles by the apps that are selected on your home screen. So as someone who's actually worked with various apps and worked on my own app, I know that a lot of people pre-select the creators, and the creators earn anywhere between 30,000 to 40,000 and sometimes more. And then the profiles are pushed to the users in tier 2, tier 3 cities, and they can easily just simply call anonymously and pay as you go. The reason why I think it's definitely working beyond, while India's mental health crisis, which is huge, which a lot of people call, a lot of young people want to have conversations. A lot of young people want to also, if you notice on Friend, people are learning English, right? People want to know how to talk in English, engage in English. People want to know how to break that first ice where people can have a conversation with an opposite sex or with a person in a new city and be able to have a conversation without any restrictions. From what I've seen on apps from a safety perspective on Friend is that you do see like a police verification that says that if you do any unsolicited conversations, which I don't know how much it works, you can actually keep having conversations and pay as you go.
Okay. Tamsil, but what's the one concern? I've spoken about this already, and we were discussing a little while earlier, Amitabh and I, on what more needs to be done. And since this is an evolving domain still, there's lots more checks and balances that need to be ensured on part of these apps to begin with. But as per you, what's the single biggest worry? So the thought is great. All right, we're going to try and look for a way how people don't feel lonely anymore. They have a way and means to interact with people beyond their reach, virtually. But what's the single biggest concern for you?
I think the big concern, if I give you a real case study, and this is something that I observed young people using in Nagaland, young people using in even very remote areas in Gujarat as well, where one, there is no moderation, right? People hide and have these conversations and collect money, and we are able to do this. So I think app moderation is definitely, as something that Ami mentioned as well, is a huge deal. While it's not like a social media moderation, like as Facebook or Instagram, where people are uploading pictures, but how do you really like moderate conversations that are happening between two people? We've seen some of the biggest models where last year OnlyFans in US was able to generate the highest amount of profit, right? And they have a lot of these. It's a different app which is completely for a different purpose. But this trend actually started from a platform called Omegle, where you can log on and have conversations, which is very unsolicited. And there were the biggest moderation concerns. While I think the apps are looking at payment as the first moderation tool, it's in I don't know how far the moderation will go. So in my opinion, safety and especially minors joining the app, and this is clearly evident, it's happening in tier 2, tier 3 cities.
What's being said is, very interestingly, that this is the coming of social media 2.0. Amitabh, tell us whether you agree with that, or would that be too premature? And secondly, once again, to understand where we're headed, do you think this entire model is going to next penetrate into the urban India?
I don't know if it's social media 2.0, maybe social network 2.0 is something that I would like to look at it. Second part is what we are forgetting is transparency by the platforms, right? So who is on the other end? Like Tamsil said, there is a picture, there is a name, and you can connect based on the money you pay. Now, is that a person? Is that an AI? I mean, we develop AI tools, and I can tell you, I can create a pretty good chat companion with voice, and it will be very difficult to tell whether it's a real person or not. So I think transparency of the platform is part one. They will certainly get more popular. Tamsil mentioned the OnlyFans model, and it's a very different sort of a space. So while the marketing is companionship and friendship, young teenagers, young women and men, and very rightly so adults, if they want to get together and get intimate, they really should. But there is money involved. There will also be a social backlash because let's be honest, we are still a very patriarchal, conservative setup. Young people are trying to break away from it, but whenever cultures clash, there is a problem. India still has laws such as outraging the modesty. The BNS also has defamation. So when does the paid companionship turn into problems of addiction, problems of harassment?
Yeah.
When is my intimate audio, which was recorded for moderation, given out to public to a honeybot?
I think it's a challenge that comes with everything online. It applies to everything online. Tamsil, very quickly before we wrap up, I do want to ask you this. Of the conversation we've had, my analysis is this, and you can correct me if I'm wrong, that the whole concept of social companionship is far closer to online dating than it is to fan engagement, in the content creator world. Would that be correct?
I think right now, what I can clearly say is that you're right. I think it is way more closer to online dating. I would say it's a step before online dating. But what's something we have to keep an eye on is when Fortnite became a huge thing, which is a game which people literally collect their pocket monies, young kids, and blow up all the pocket monies on virtual assets. This is one of those apps and this is one of those trends, you can call it social network 2.0, where a lot of pay as you go would see a lot of pocket money and a lot of money that is being saved by young people going into this, mainly to be able to improve from a behavior perspective, interactions, meet new people, fight loneliness, and at the same time, do things without parental consent. So I think that would be my take in that sense.
Okay, so we're going to have to wait it out and see how far this goes in years to come. But thank you so much for joining us, both Amitabh and Tamsil. It's been a pleasure having both of you on The Breakfast Club. We head